It was a period of mourning, and the country and some parts of the world were, just taking stock. And so in a way, I suppose our tribute is continuing to do it.
Her Majesty the Queen!
The stars of Netflix's highly anticipated new season of The Crown are opening up about what to expect from the upcoming season and filming the series in the wake of the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Season 5 of The Crown takes us into the 1990s after the departure of Margaret Thatcher as Prime Minister and the introduction of Prime Minister John Major. Elsewhere, the series will showcase the tumultuous relationship and ultimate downfall of the marriage between Princess Diana and then Prince Charles. The new season also marks the third and final cast change in the series, with Olivia Colman passing the royal baton over to Imelda Staunton, who will take over as Queen Elizabeth II for the final 2 seasons of the series. The actress opened up about how the show may or may not be different now in the wake of the late monarch's passing.
The audience's view of it might be different, but we are not doing anything different. The writers aren't doing anything different, and one can't use any of that, whatever one's emotional reaction to her passing was, you can't bleed that into 1992.
As for the rest of the newcomers, Season 4 favorites Emma Corrin and Josh O'Connor will be replaced by Dominic West and Elizabeth Debicki as Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Jonathan Pryce is stepping in for Tobias Menzies as Prince Philip, and Lesley Manville is taking over from Helena Bonham Carter as Princess Margaret.
I would have liked to have had a drink with Vanessa and Helena, but I think we'll try and do that at the end when the whole thing's done and dusted, because my job, and I'm sure Helena would agree when she took over from Vanessa, you can't really emulate what your predecessor has done, because it can only be Vanessa's version, Helena's version, and now my version. I mean, obviously we're all playing in the same field, as it were, but the best source of information for me is the real Margaret, and the footage, documentaries, listening to her voice.
With the new cast also comes making the characters their very own.
What you try not to do is to do an impersonation of him. The more you discover about him, the more you get to like him, the more you find out that he was far from the cold, grumpy kind of image that was fed to us in the press.
There's very little footage of her in the 90s, oddly enough. There was one interview where she speaks to a journalist about coming back to Buckingham Palace when the war had ended. But it's only it's a 7-minute interview. But there are little keys from watching that I got, just little details that you pick up on.
Elsewhere, Staunton and the cast reflected on honoring the Queen while filming the show's forthcoming 6th season in the days following her passing.
Well, we were all sort of all over the place. Half the cast were in Spain, and we were here, and then in the schedule I wasn't working for 10 days, and I think you were off somewhere else. So I mean, it's fairly disparate. We were all over the place.
Yes, we'd been filming the day that the Queen died. We had been filming. We'd finished filming because of her death wasn't announced until 6:30 p.m. So fortunately, we'd already finished our day's filming by then. And of course, all that we knew, like the rest of the world knew, was that she clearly wasn't well, and that the family had been called to Balmoral, but that's as much as we knew. It was when I got home that the news broke that she'd died. And then there was no more filming for a few days, and I don't think I was meant to be filming anyway. So we were very separate. We had to do our grieving privately as opposed to the Crown collectively, as it were.
And finally, the new season will also showcase many scandalous stories that uncovered during Queen Elizabeth's reign in the 90s, many of which the stars are excited to tell.
For all the things that happened within that time, that tumultuous era, there's a lot went on. So there's a lot for the audience to take on board.
It's almost like you could be watching a Bergman film or you could be watching a little bit of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or something. There are scenes that are quite intimate between the two of us, which I enjoyed doing, and also I think the audience will enjoy exploring with us.
Season 5 of The Crown premieres on November 9th. For more on the story, head to THR.com. And for the latest entertainment news and updates, keep watching the Hollywood Reporter News.